I don't know if anybody knows this about me, but a lot of times when I FaceTime people or video chat of any sort and I'm waiting for the person to answer, that's typically what my face looks like. You know, just something weird so that when they first get there, they're like, what is she doing? Anyway, so today, right this second, I am wanting to tell you guys about a song that I love, and it's a song that most of you probably know. And for me, I want to share why it means something to me and the people who it makes me think about, because I really think that's what music is about. It's about what it inspires us to think and believe and feel and all that good stuff. So, the song today is Candle in the Wind by Elton John. And my recollection of Candle in the Wind is that I did not hear it until Princess Diana's physical presence had left this world, and the tribute, as a tribute to her. I do know that it was written with Marilyn Monroe in mind, and I've done a little bit of the research as to, you know, behind that, like behind the songs and how it came about, or behind the behind Elton John's desire to make a tribute to these women through this song. And so I don't know if I knew that it was a song for Marilyn Monroe before I knew it was a song for Princess Diana, but I love it as a song for both. Recently, though, I also heard Candle in the Wind by Ed Sheeran, and hearing it from Ed Sheeran gave me a totally different perspective about it. Because when I hear Candle in the Wind by Elton John, I think of Princess Diana and Marilyn Monroe. I think about a man singing a song to his friends. And I don't know if he knew them. I assume that he did. I think he did. And again, I did research it a long time ago, and I've obviously forgotten the details. But when I hear it from Elton John, he's singing to his friends. It's a tribute to his friends. When I heard the song by Ed Sheeran, it was more like hearing my cousin Michael, who is probably, a few years older than Ed Sheeran, but still just kind of like a kid figuring out life and figuring out people and figuring out everything. And I heard the song and it made me think of Michael, and it made me think of our grandma. Michael is technically my cousin, but he's also kind of my brother. When I was a teenager, I lived with my aunt and uncle, and it was me, my aunt and uncle, my grandma, Michael, Desiree, and Jessica, and, pretty much anyone else who needed a place to stay at the Henderson Homeless Shelter circa 1995. Anyway, so with that, I heard the song, I thought of Michael, I thought of my grandma, and it was like the song just transformed into this different piece of music, this different piece of inspiration to me. And so, I'm going to sing it. And I want to say up front that one of the things that makes me think about my grandma the most in this, and the thing that I would say I've realized most over the last couple of weeks, months, so on, is that one of the lyrics, I should say, that is so poignant to me is where he says, I would have liked to know you, but I was just a kid. I've always said that my grandma waited until I was 18 so that she could know that I was an adult and I would take care of myself and yada, yada, yada. Well, 37 years old, we all know that didn't technically happen. But at that point, 18, I was still a kid for sure. And I did not get to know my grandma like I wish I could have. And the things that I've been able to know about her since then are like, And still, I wish that I could hear the stories from her, because I'm sure there are details and there are elements to the story that are just so much more. But I know I'll get them one day. Even though her physical presence is gone from this earth, I also know that... Gotta adjust my feet. I also know that I will see her again. So anyway, I found a karaoke version of it. Recognize that this is a song written for men and in a key for men, and I don't know why I was sitting on my feet. I have a stool. So here we go. Goodbye, Norma Jean. Though I never knew you at all, you had the grace to hold yourself when those around you crawl. They crawled out of the woodwork and they whispered into your brain. They set you on the treadmill and they made you change your name. And it seemed to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never knowing who to cling to when the rain set in. I would have liked to know you, but I was just a kid. Your candle burned out long before the legend ever did. I love that woman. Loneliness was tough, toughest role you ever played. Hollywood created a superstar, and pain was the price you paid. Even when you died, oh, the press still hounded you. All the papers had to say was that Marilyn was found in the nude. And it seems to me you live your life like a candle in the wind, never knowing who to cling to when the rain set in. And I would have liked to known you, but I was just a kid. Your candle burned out long before your legend ever did. Though I never knew you at all, you had the grace to hold yourself while those around you cried. Goodbye, Norma Jean, from the young man in the 22nd row who sees you as something more than sexual, more than just our Marilyn Monroe. And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never knowing who to cling to when the rain set in. I would have liked to known you, but I was just a kid. Your candle burned out long before legend ever did. I would have liked to known you, but I was just a kid. Your candle burned out long before what legend ever did. So, I mean, my grandma was not found in the nude. Although, I mean, underneath her clothes, she was, and she didn't go to Hollywood, to my knowledge, at all. And she didn't, you know, do some of those other things that Marilyn Monroe did, and she didn't do some of those things that Princess Diana did. But she did so much. She did so much good, and she loved so many people. And I think that, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. I wish I would have known her, because I am sure she's got something for me. So, but I also know that even without her physical presence here, she's still here. So I'll figure it out. I'm getting there. I'm loving it. I am loving the people in my life. I am loving life. I am recreating who I am as a human being. Like, holy cow. This... It's like everybody is wondering who I am, where I am, what I'm doing. Like, how do I even show up as a human being anymore? And I'm going to tell you, for 37 years of my life, I have been living not Christina Ann Henderson Shirley. I have not been living me. I've been living a version of myself. I've been living a version of the people, you know, putting me on the treadmill and telling me to change my name and telling me what to do and telling me this and telling me that. And, you know, basically sending me off to become a product of what they want me to be. I'm me, you know? I am me, and I'm loving it. And, like, over these last couple of days, I've been figuring out, what do I want in life? Where do I want to be? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? Like, and my grandma, she is there. All the women and the men. But the women, I think I connect the most with because I'm a woman. I mean, really, did you know? I mean, and so maybe that's what it is. Anyway, like, I'm at that place where I can tell my thoughts are just kind of like euphoric, so I don't really know what words to say. So I'm going to let everybody go. But I genuinely love you. If you're watching this video, you love me. And I personally know that I love everyone. Hitler, I love him. The guys who flew the planes into the trade centers, I love them. The person and the people in my life who have not done things that I've been thrilled about, I love them. I love everybody. Like, I love everybody. And I can tell you, if you took the time to watch this video, you love me. So, when I say these words, I love you, you get to accept those words as complete truth. Because when love is shared between two people, it's like there is no denying that what you've got is something powerful, you know? So, I love you. I love. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Love coat the earth. I don't sugarcoat anything, but I love coat everything. Like, people don't necessarily know. That's my dad. I think I'm actually going to take this. Hello? Hi. How are you? I'm really glad to hear that. So, yeah. The message? Oh. 3 hours. Yeah. I mean, I have a lot to say to you. I'm sure I have more than 3 hours and 56 minutes of stuff to say to you, but I don't even think I could leave you a message that was 3 hours and 56 minutes. So, I have, to be funny, I've tried it before. I think it only goes like 3 or 4 minutes. I did it with Janelle a while back. We would do it on purpose. Like, the voice messages that we would leave for each other were so ridiculous because our only purpose was to fill up the most amount of time possible. Anyway, though, I am in one of those, like, super I'm going to change the world modes right this second, and always. Like, that's where I got to yesterday and today, is knowing how to do that. Biggest piece is just believing it. Believing in me. I believe in me. I believe in you. Like, I believe that we have some serious shit to talk about. And I believe in you and me to figure it out. I also believe in myself to be a millionaire. Because that's where I'm going. I believe in you to be a millionaire. I think that's where you're going. I actually believe that all of us are supposed to be these, like, incredible human beings who have all we want. And I believe that the reason why we don't have them is because somewhere in our past, someone didn't teach us that we fucking deserved it. You know? Like, that's what it's about. That's the piece in all of this. That's the piece Grandma didn't teach you. You deserve to be rich. You deserve to have whatever you want. You deserve to be the greatest version of a human being that you can create yourself to be. And all of us, so many of us, I should say, were not given that impression when we were kids. And so then, whatever impression we were given, for instance, like if we were given the impression that our parents only had enough money to barely scrape by and pay the bills, then there's a good chance that we are going to grow up to be adults who barely make enough money to scrape by and pay the bills. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? And if no one actually says to you, and this is the thing, this is why my voicemail said, would you want to change your name? Because here's the thing. Christina Ann Henderson Shirley, and I love all of those names about myself now. I didn't used to love all of them. In fact, I used to only love Ann in it. Grandma was the only piece that I actually loved about my name. It was the only thing I would have kept. I actually love all of my names. So when I want to say to you, my dad, how much I love you, I want you, Vernon Theodore Henderson Jr., to know how much I fucking love you. But if I say those names and they create something in you that's frustrating, then you don't need it anymore. So you got to either love that name or you got to acclimate to something different. And finding out that it's only like $30 to do it online, I'm not saying that everybody, like, I imagine it would really frustrate the system if every single person in the world went out and changed their name right away. But the good thing about the system is that I don't think most people want to change their name. But if, for you, because of the circumstances with your name, if it means something to you that is negative, that also would be, or I should say, okay, right now would be me teaching you, my father, that you deserve to have a name that you're proud of, is basically what it boils down to. So, J. MacDaddy Henderson, I believe, is supposed to be your name. Or maybe don't even give it name. Make it J and then just give yourself initials, M.D. Henderson. J. M.D. Henderson. I'll know what it means. You'll be able to tell everybody what it means. But maybe MacDaddy isn't what you want, like, on your new birth certificate. But you could, if you wanted. Know what I mean? Does that make sense? Okay, see, here, let me say, that idea that you're saying right there about how there are too many things tied into your name for you to be able to change it. Yeah, I totally get that. And let me tell you how I know I get it. Because every time something happens to, like, my debit card or something where I have to go in and change every single presence where that card needs to be used, yes, it's a big deal. But every single time you have an idea that could be good, like really good, like for me, I'm feeling like if you changed your name, it would actually reinvent who you are as a human being. I know this. It would reinvent who you are as a human being. It would be worth whatever steps you had to take, no matter whether it was 100 different places that you had to go after to say, I am sorry, my name has changed. You need to do it. And you want to know why I can say to you that that's important? Because since I've been married, I've only changed my name on about half of those things. And I think that's part of why I'm where I am right now. Because for whatever reason, I wasn't committed fully to any of it. And now I'm committed to it, so I'm like, don't tell me the reasons why something's not going to work. I don't need to know the reasons why something's not going to work. If I believe it today and I keep going with it, it's going to work. That's 100% truth. Because what's going to happen is, for instance, if I say to you, I want X, Y, or Z, and you think, you're never going to get that because, and then you list off all the reasons why I can't have it because physical elements within this world are making it so that, other people would have the ability to tell you, no, you can't do that. It's like, that's what takes your power away, is other people, when they say to you, oh, no, you don't want to do that. Well, maybe you do. Literally. Every single time you come up with a plan to do something and you start the steps to do it, 100% of the time, you will get the best possible outcome if you just keep going at it. Now, say you decided that you wanted this X, Y, or Z thing, and it required 10 steps, and then you got to step 5 and you realized that you weren't actually supposed to get to X, Y, or Z, the X, Y, or Z was supposed to actually be like A or something, then you change it. But you don't change it back at the beginning when you had the good idea. You don't change it until the good idea becomes a bad idea based on reality, not based on someone else telling you can't do it. You know? Does that make sense?
I'm not understanding it.
It's like,
No,
okay.
I don't exactly understand that.
Okay, so let's say that you decided you want... Okay, so here's a for instance. If you weren't driving a truck, if someone said to you, you have the ability to go out into the world and get whatever job you wanted, even if it was a job you had to make up and create for yourself, what would that job be?
Stay at home worker.
Okay, and then how would you make money when you stayed at home?
That's just it. I don't know. As far as I know, there's no making money sitting at home.
I've made over $1,000 doing not a single bit of work in the last couple of weeks. So the idea that you can't make a lot of money by doing nothing is actually false. It's 100% false.
What are you doing to make $1,000?
I asked people for help. I went to people with resources and said, I need your help. Do you want to help me? So for some people, the resource may be $100. For the next person, the resource might be, do you know if you change this setting in your phone, this thing that is currently taking you 5 hours will only take you like 4 minutes? That's someone that I went to and said, hey, I've got a thing that I'm trying to figure out, whatever. And then they gave me a piece of information that has changed my life. Like, for instance, every single time that I have had to tell my massage clients that I wanted to, or that I had times available for them, because I didn't know about a setting in my iPhone, and I've been an iPhone user for like 10 years now, because of a setting that I didn't realize how it worked and that I could turn it off, I was having to send every single message to all of my clients individually, one-on-one. And we're talking hundreds of people at any given time. It could be a list as short as about 150 would be the people that I regularly send updates to, and probably as many as like 200 or 300 if I am sending it to everyone who comes in like ever in a year, and so with that, you got to figure, if you're sending individually one message after another, how much time do you think that would take? Well, let me tell you, it takes hours. So then my client tells me, well, there's this setting that you can change to where it takes off the group messaging. And let me say, this client is in her 60s. So it's kind of an interesting turn of events to have, the group of the group of people who would say that they are not tech savvy, the age demographic that would say they are not tech savvy, teaching me, who considers myself to be one of the most tech savvy people I know, something new about my iPhone. But it was amazing. And in that moment, I was able to send one message to over 100 people in like 30 seconds. Does that make sense? How when you get an idea in your head that you want help and you ask for it, you get it. Because people want to help you. People who love you want to help you. People who don't know you want to help you. And people who love you but are mad at you want you to help them. And if you can't help them out of whatever it is that they are struggling with, then they look somewhere else. This is all how it all works. It's how we're all connected. It's how all of it. So for me, I know that my purpose in life at this point is to help other people become millionaires. That's essentially my purpose. And when I say everybody, I don't mean the person who's currently making 5 to 6 figures easily every year. I'm talking about the person who is homeless on the streets and bringing them to a place where they are millionaires. That's my purpose in life. And you know how I'm going to do that? I am not going to do that by doing massages in an office. I am not going to do that by doing any work that someone else is going to pay me to do. I'm going to figure out, and I have some ideas that I'm going to go with, and I'm going to go with them, and when they have, when I have my after story, I should say, that's when people will start seeing all the real details of what I'm doing right now. But generally speaking, I have an idea about how to get the money. I have an idea about how for myself to make millions of dollars without me even having to do a day of work for the rest of my life. And I'm not going to tell you what it is right now, but I eventually will. Because this is my idea. Like, it's not, that's the thing, is like, you know, when people say get rich quick or whatever, it's not that there's one idea that's right for everybody. Everybody's idea to be a millionaire is going to be different than the next person. Unless they just really like my idea, and then they may try my idea. I have no idea about that. But what I'm saying is, you can come up with your own idea. And so, but if right now I'm saying to you, I'm going to be a millionaire, and I have this idea, and I've got these steps, and I know that if I do these steps, I'm going to become a millionaire. You have, actually, let me go back. You have had the ability in the past to totally throw my trajectory into the shitter. Like, literally. Like, the other day when I talked to you, and you got mad, and I got mad, like, I actually was, like, I was in a place of frustration, but before that, before I got to the place of frustration, I had actually been feeling really, really good. And then I was frustrated, and I talked to you, and I felt worse. And I say that with love. I felt worse because I went to you saying, I need your help, basically, and you couldn't help me. And that's okay. But instead of getting mad, which I think is what happens sometimes too when we can't help a person, it's almost like we get mad at them for not being able to help themselves. But it's like, we got to teach each other. And I believe that even in the realm of I, your daughter, need to teach you how to do some things. And you, my dad, need to teach me how to do some things. Still, at 37 years old. You could start, actually, by wishing me a happy birthday. Did you remember it? Were you mad at me?
I remember it was Saturday, 18th.
Mm-hmm.
Your birthday, 18th.
I know.
I got a little upset. I got a little upset with you when I shouldn't have hung up on you. I shouldn't have.
It's okay. I shouldn't have hung up on you
I
either.
figure if I didn't hang up, I'd say something that I might have regretted, or we both might have regretted.
Yep.
But, see,
Oh, I'm getting where the silent part works.
Happy birthday, and you never acknowledged my birthday wishes. Yeah. And I don't feel like I don't give a crap if anybody remembers my birthday. Just once you hear a little bit more, especially when you're never home, you're always doing something hot. They don't pay me anything extra for my birthday. I don't care. I don't hardly ever get to be home on my birthday.
Well, you know what? You're gonna be by next year, April. Yeah, 29th. Yeah, or is that Vicky? I feel like, see, that's my problem. Is I do know most people's birthdays, but I also get groups of people confused.
I'd always mix up Vicky and Mom. One's the 27th, one's the 29th, one's June, one's July. And I would be like, which one is which?
That helps me so much because I know that Grandma's is 7/27. So imagine this. This will help you always remember Grandma's birthday. Grandma is metaphorically up in the air, kind of like a plane, like a 7/27. That's her birthday. Now you'll always remember it, and now you'll always know your sisters. And Keith's is August 5th? Yeah? Yeah. So there you go. Now we're all on the same page. And yours is April 29th?
Yep.
Yeah.
I tried calling him a few times, 2 different years in a row. And both times, a Mexican guy answered my phone. Hello? Hey, Keith there? Who? Keith?
Are you are you positive it wasn't Keith? And maybe he was just busy and wanted to blow you off in a nice way.
No, no. And I think he gave me the number, which was different than the number that I had for him.
Well, I will text you his number.
I got it. I got the new one.
Oh, you do?
Now,
Oh, well, that's good then.
I've seen like infomercials where, and I was going to ask you, is this how you plan on doing it to help other people? You know, somebody says, I was working at McDonald's, and I found this way, and he's standing out a wad of hundreds, and there's the Corvette, or the freaking,
No, in fact, okay,
and all
that
he
is
has
actually,
to do is
that
send me money.
that is actually a piece that pisses me off. Because I have found a lot of that in life. I found a lot of those kinds of videos, those kinds of infomercials, those kinds of things. They're almost all built like that. But I've actually already told you the biggest piece. The biggest piece is figuring out that thing you want to do, figuring out whatever steps you can think of to make it happen, and then just going with it. But first and foremost, believing that you're going to do it, and that if every day your mindset is on, I'm going to do this thing, you're going to do it. At the point that you stop believing and stop doing, that is the only point at which that dream can no longer become a reality. And it doesn't matter.
Would it sound really bad if I said, I don't want to do anything, I just like to have the money that I could do nothing? And what I mean by nothing, I don't mean sit around the house, excuse me, a couch potato. But, and I know, well, I don't want to say, there are a bunch of people, for whatever reason, whether it was given to them at birth, the name, or whatever, never had to work a day in their lives. Have whatever they want. Take Donald Trump, for instance. His family had money. Did he have to actually ever really have to work a day in his life? No. But it's them kind of people that never really had to work a day in their life.
Okay, let me tell you another thing. Let me tell you another really significant piece when it comes to money. If you look at people who you currently know, not personally, I don't know who you know personally who's a millionaire, but anyone who you look at in society who has money now, if you think of them in a negative way, that is another thing that is going to prevent you from having money. Like, everything about this world is starts in our brains. We think it up and we create it. It's like the whole idea, if you decided that you wanted a cake, well, we know how to make cakes at this point. It's not like something that it's not a new idea. It's not a new invention, cake at this point. So, you would do the steps. You would get whether it was a box mix or whether it was all of the ingredients out of the cupboard, and you would start doing the steps. And if you did the steps in that way, you would know that at the end you would have a cake. Well, what if at some point you're working on the cake and you're halfway through, you've got everything mixed together, it's in the pan, and then someone says, what? How in the heck is that liquid going to go to a, just melt in your mouth deliciousness of no frosting goodness? That oven is certainly not going to do it. What the heck is an oven going to do? Well, thankfully we know what the oven does. So if a person tried to convince you that your cake idea was bad, you'd be like, I actually know that if I stick this in the oven in 27 minutes, it's going to be a cake that I can eat. Now, let's imagine that you were 5 and you were reading along, and let's just say a box mix for the ease of whatever, and you put all this stuff into the bowl and you mixed it all up, and then, you looked at it and you were like, what is an oven? What's an oven? And then you go to your mom and you're like, I need to make a cake and it says I need to put it into the oven. Now, what if, just for shits and giggles, or what if, maybe just to blow you off, your mom says, oh, the oven doesn't work, or the oven will not make a cake, or the oven doesn't work like that, or you've done it wrong, or why are you making a cake, or why do you want a cake, or what makes you think you deserve the cake? Did you ask for the cake? If you at 5 years old believed any of that bullshit, you wouldn't get your cake. That's what I'm talking about. That is the key to it. Now, the people who make the infomercials, I have no idea how they actually made their money. Some of them do tell you what they did, and it does involve them sending money off to someone else. But mine will not involve that in that way. People will definitely be sending me money, but it won't be like that. And so, I don't know. And maybe when I have my first set of millions, then I will invest in your business plan that's going to make you money by doing nothing. Maybe that's my piece. I don't know. But you will come up with a business plan that will make you the money you want in the way that you want to have it. So whatever that is, and you have to believe that it can happen. So like, for instance, let me give you an idea. This concept does not exactly exist, and the current laws in place probably would say you cannot do this. What if you actually found a way that you were able to go hunting every day, sell the meat, sell all the stuff, and be a millionaire, and all you have to do is work during hunting season by going out hunting every day? What if that was a job that you could do and make $1 million every single year?
There are people that do that.
Okay, why not you then? I'm glad that you can't give me a reason, because there is no reason why that can't be you. That's the other thing. Those people, they finished the cake. They're eating the cake now. Just make your cake already. I mean, and I'm not saying that's the cake you want, but I'm saying that is one thing I know you love. So?
I don't know how they get started, but I know they get, okay, I want to bow hunt. So I go, this is the bow that I'm hunting with, these are the arrows I'm hunting. And then I go get a trophy buck. And it gets in the magazines, and it gets in the record, and then they go, what kind of bow are you using when you got that? You say, I was using this bow. Next thing you know, that bow manufacturer comes to you and says, look, I'll sponsor you, and here's a free bow, and here's all the stuff that you need. And then next thing you know, they got cameras following around, and they're on Sports Network or on Outdoors Network.
Are you talking about the J. MacDaddy Henderson show? Because it sounds a lot like that is what you're talking about.
But you have to know somebody.
No, you don't. You know yourself, and you know other people. So you go forward.
You're right. You don't have to know somebody. You just got to get the big deer.
No, not even that. You just have to not give yourself all those reasons why you can't do it. If you say, I can't do it because I don't know people, then you're stopping. That's like knowing you want a cake and not knowing that there is a box version out there, or not knowing that there is a recipe, and not even being willing to figure out how to find it. That's what I'm saying. If you don't make excuses for why it can't work, and you just say, that would be awesome, that would be incredible to be able to hunt during hunting season and be done the rest of the year to do whatever else I want to do. And trust me, you're going to be happier, you're going to be healthier, you're going to be weller, you're going to be wealthier, you're going to be all the things. You're going to look about as svelte as you did when I was 8. Do you remember those pictures that we took when I was 8? I believe someone came to your apartment there in Orlando.
They don't even look like me. I don't even look like that person.
I can see you in it. That is definitely my daddy in that picture. Like, that is the quintessential picture that I think of when I think of you, even though you do look very differently. Like, but, I mean, let's be realistic. If you had a job, if your job was you hunting all day and, like, going out into the woods and doing various things as opposed to sitting in a truck all day driving, that would come back, you know? Also, our weight goes to what it's supposed to be when we are happy. When we are struggling every single day just to make ends meet, our weight is never going to be what it's supposed to be. Because you're always going to be stressed. And stress makes you sick because it shuts down all the things that would make your body work right. And then it shuts down your body's ability to, like, get rid of stuff, and it shuts down your ability to hear the messages of what your body needs, like, and also what your body doesn't need. Because, like, when it comes to figuring out the best diet, it is the Jay Henderson diet for you. It's not any diet that's been created so far. It's got to be a mixture of every single diet option that's out there, tweaked together to be exactly what you need it to be for your body. And then you're going to be loving it. You're going to eat it. You're going to eat the stuff because you love it. Your weight would stabilize to whatever you decided you want it to be. So, like, if you, when you retire, want a side hustle of playing Santa Claus at Christmas time, I mean, keep it. Because you're perfect, just the way you are. But if for whatever reason you are pining for that body. So let's see, if I was 8, you would have been like 26, 27. Crazy, eh? I mean, do you realize that you have a 37-year-old? What?
Huh?
I said,
I can't even remember what I looked. I mean, like size-wise, when I was that young.
I'm gonna send it to you. I'll send you the picture. Anyway, now I forgot what I said. But that's what I'm saying. That's where we are. Like, we, and when I say we, I mean every single body. We have got to recreate ourselves. And this is literally what I am talking about. In the last couple of days, I have thrown away so much stuff. I have separated out probably about 75% of my physical belongings to either donate, give away, or sell. I have gone onto my Facebook and started deleting every negative thing that I ever wrote. So you actually, if you'd like, you can refriend me on Facebook. And you can trust that I'm actually not going to say anything on there that's going to be offensive to you, because I have nothing more offensive to say. I gotta love people. That's all that it's about. It is literally just about loving the hell out of people. And hell is not elsewhere. The same as heaven is not elsewhere. Heaven is what happens on earth when we are living the life we are supposed to be living. Hell is what happens on earth when we are not living the life we are supposed to be living. Does that make sense? Like, I honestly, I literally do not believe that heaven exists somewhere else. I don't believe that hell exists somewhere else. I believe that grandma is still here on this earth without her body. And I believe that when all of us collectively, as a human consciousness, decide that we want an apocalypse, that is when we will have heaven on earth. That is when we'll be able to teleport. That is when we'll be able to apparate. That is when we will be able to fly. That is when we will be able to do whatever we want to do, because we won't be inhibited by our bodies. Like, I 100% know grandma is still on this earth. Her body is just in it. Same with everybody. I think that's how it works. I know that we exist before we came to this earth. We will exist after. And this time on earth, it is literally about figuring out the physical stuff. It's about having money so you can have the physical things you want. You cannot help anyone, including yourself, if you don't have money. So that idea that being poor and having to scrape by and barely pay your bills, everyone needs to hear the words. You are meant to be a millionaire. You are meant to have money. You are meant to be rich. You are meant to be wealthy. You are meant to use your wealth to make the world a better place. And it's like this big, like, it's like the recycle symbol, you know? Like, as you're giving, you will get. You give, you get. You give, you get. You give, you get. If everybody out there was giving their very best, and everybody else was getting what they needed only, and everything that we did was to create something better instead of competing to take what's ours for us, or mine for the one person, like, no, it's about all of us. This is what I've been, like, going at for months, and people have been thinking I'm nuts. Oh, I was nuts because I was stuck not being me. I have not been supposing to be a massage therapist for years and maybe never. I am meant to help people heal. And that is what was instilled in me when I was a kid. That was what was instilled in me by helping Grandma when she got sick. That was what was instilled in me by helping Vicky when she got headaches. That was what was instilled in me when I lived with Heather while she was pregnant. That was what was instilled in me all throughout my life. If you've ever noticed, I gravitate, and you'll believe this, because if you think about my relationships, we'll use the relationships that haven't worked as reference. I gravitate towards people who are struggling the same way I've been struggling. And I think I was gravitating towards them because those are the people that I relate with. I don't relate to the millionaires right now because I haven't been a millionaire. So, like, I can't call up my millionaire friends and say, how did you become a millionaire? So, all this time, I've been gravitating towards people who are struggling. People who are I've gravitated towards people who can't pay their bills. I've gravitated towards people who don't have homes. I've gravitated towards people who yada, 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 don't have what they need. And then what happens is I start saying, I think it can be better than this. And people get pissed. Those are the people who are not in my immediate circle right now. Are the people who I saw their hurt and said, hey, I think this is a step-by-step plan to get out of it. And you know what happens there with some people? It's like me saying to, okay, here's the thing. This is the moment. In my cake theory. If the cake is it, let's consider cake to be what we want. Cake is the happiness, cake is the inner peace, cake is the joy, cake is the money, cake is all those things. When I go to some people who are struggling and I say, I see that you're struggling and I want you to be happy, I actually have an idea of the recipe for them to be happy. If they followed the recipe that I gave them and didn't give me all the reasons why it wouldn't work, they'd have the fucking cake. Literally. But it's the fact that I don't do the work for them, but it needs to be done, and they aren't ready to do the steps that makes people mad at me. So that is one of the reasons why I want to make a heck ton of money, because then I will be that millionaire that you know personally. I will be that millionaire that homeless person on the street knows personally. And not just some person standing up, like in front of a church and making them think, oh yeah, like I have all the answers, but really connecting with people, because we all have the answers. And I am changed every single day by people who give me different answers to the things that I need. Like I've said before, I don't believe in God per se anymore. Like, I do not believe in God as this male figurehead that lives somewhere else. I believe that God is love. And so God being love is in all of us. With that, the reason why God is everywhere is because everybody is everywhere. The reason why God knows everything is because everybody everywhere knows everything. Collectively. God is us collectively. God is collective existence, basically. God is collective love within physical existence. So, that is why, to me, we can do what we need to do and we can find the answers that we need to find without, praying to God who is somewhere else and waiting. It's the same as like they say, you get your answers to prayers through other people. You either remember something that you already know, which is everything, or you have to have someone else remind you of it. So, those are the only two options. You either have to figure it out on your own, which you can do, because I've done a lot of that in my life, which is why it's taken me 37 years, and that's why I want to help other people get it right now. Like at 10 and 11 years old. Because if I could have gotten this at 10 and 11 years old, I'd be a different human being right now. Okay, maybe I wouldn't be a different human being. I'd be the same human being, but I'd be a millionaire right this second. You know? Anyway, I'm very passionate about this, and I can tell you, especially with the idea I have, I'm not even like the slightest bit worried anymore. So we're getting there. We are getting there. And so there you are. I mean, that's like the reality of it. And this, even you talking to me today has been invaluable to me as far as figuring out some of the things that I need to go forward. Even though when you called, I already knew how I was going to go forward. You've brought up pieces of other elements that I have to think about. And I love that. So, again, that's where we are. It's the good stuff. And I really should.
How long you think it's going to be before I can get a loan?
Well, let's set ourselves let's set ourselves a date of 7/27, and
This year?
I don't know. I guess you got to decide that. I don't know. I mean, let's see, that's like 2 months from now. Totally doable. So yeah. How about this? How about you believe that I'm going to give you a loan on Grandma's birthday, and by the way, any one of my stipulations, not a stipulation, one of the things that I know I intend to do when all of that money is readily in the bank and available is that I plan on having a reunion of everybody that matters to me in Florida. And like in the realm of I would pay for whoever needed to go. And I would pay whatever wage would be lost by not being at work. Because my quest is to bring the people together. Also, actually, this is the thing. I don't know that Jessica would want to get married on 7/27, and I don't even know if that's a thing that she needs to do, but she did get engaged yesterday. So, I want you to be there. And I know, in Florida, I know that as her uncle and her father's brother, she wants you there too. So it's going to be good. So when all the stuff comes together and Jessica's wedding happens, which would be totally awesome if it was on 7/27 of this year, because I've already said I want to have a family reunion on 7/27 of this year. So when we do that, then we can discuss your business plan and the loan as it pertains to helping you get started. Know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, though, now that... What's that?
I'm still going to think of a business.
You do, but you're going to do it. Talk to Fennell about it. It's a thing you have to do together. That's the thing, too, is that is... So this is my other thing. The thing about, like, how love is the power. Love is what gives us what we need to do. And the fact that we live in a physical world. I believe that having people physically in our world with us is important. It's like it's an anchor. People are an anchor to this world. Otherwise, we literally could just not be here. I mean, if it wasn't for other people being on this planet, we literally wouldn't need to be here. We wouldn't want to be here, you know? So, with that, I do believe that we are meant to be in relationships. I do believe that we are meant to take the power of more than one mind and create something amazing. So, talk to your wife and let her know that I genuinely do love her. And I know that that has not always been expressed that way. I know it's been expressed the exact opposite. But my responses like that were kind of similar to our responses to each other the other night. The other 2 days that we talked to each other recently. And since I know that you can understand you and how you may have said some jerky things and you still love me, that's kind of what I would like for you to help express to your wife, is how much I love her. Genuinely. And if for, and I'm not going to, not for no other reasons, because there are so many reasons why I love Fennell. But I would say the primary one is that she makes my dad happy. So, please let her know how much I love her. Genuinely. And then talk to her about that business plan that you guys both are going to have together. Because while you're not, like, while you're off doing whatever you want to do, she's not going to be sitting at home with, you know, something else. Like, it's something you guys are going to do together. You'll figure it out, but it'll be together. You know what I mean? So, you do that. I should probably go. I mean, I've been, like, talking about actually going out to do things. Done a lot this morning, but haven't actually left. So I'm going to do that.
It's already this evening. What are you talking about?
Well, it's 3:43 right here.
It's not, well, this clock says one out to switch to 44. I'm in Central Time. And I'm
that makes
about
sense.
4 miles from the yard.
Oh, that's good.
Over here in Western Kentucky.
That's good. Now you're almost all the way there.
Yeah.
Well, that's really awesome.
I spent the weekend in Texas. Well, not really. I loaded in Texas. I loaded Thursday in Texas. In Fort Worth. Went down to LaPorte. Loaded Friday. Stayed in LaPorte Friday. Got up Saturday. And went up to Joplin, Missouri. Saturday. Got up Sunday. I went to Cuba, Missouri. And got up today. I went to Herman, Missouri, and I loaded now in Lewis Point, Kentucky.
Nice. I've only heard of LaPorte. I've been there.
It's a little south, well, it's south and a little west, south and a little east of Houston.
Yeah.
Off of 225.
Yep.
Off of 610.
Yep. I used to drive that often. I used to live in Pasadena. Did you know that?
I thought you lived down there by the, what was it called, Hobby or Wobby or?
Houston Hobby Airport?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You lived down around there.
Well, we started out when I first moved to Texas. We lived in a really small, like, I don't know, place that was closer to there. And then, when, Heather and Terry bought their first house, I think they were renting wherever they were, that first one. And then they bought a house in Pasadena. And I lived there for a while. But yeah. And then I lived in Dallas too, so. What's that?
Used to load in Pasadena, and then Pasadena, LaPorte, was another place down there. There's one other place, a lot of chemical plants down there where we go.
I'm trying to think of all the names. It's like I can see the map and I can even feel like I see the names, but I can't think of them out loud, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, though, I do really I really like should go because I feel like I'm at a place where I need to do something different right this second. So
Okay. Well, I'm
I'm.
glad you called. It's nice to talk instead of trying to read a text.
I know.
It's nice to talk without hanging up.
It is really nice, that part too. It's nice to have good things to talk about. It's nice to have all of the hope that I need to keep going forward and to know that everything is going to be so fabulous. Like, huh, we're going to be millionaires, Dad. That Mac Daddy. That is what we're going to be. So, I will keep you updated. I will talk to you more often. That's another thing is that because I've been so weighed down by everything that's been going on lately. And by lately I mean like for a long time. That's why I couldn't take phone calls most of the time because I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle the immediate needs that people would need from me when I knew that I had so many immediate needs of my own. You know, like when you get a text message, you can kind of put it off and that's the wrong thing to do, but that was my coping mechanism for a while. And now that I've come out, I'm good. So I will talk more often. And I will update you. I will actually update you the first time that I have income that I did not go out to my job to do. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all.
Lucy, I'm home.
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody still here.
I do what?
This place closes up at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, everybody. Bosses, everybody. 6 o'clock, leave.
Yeah?
And so the tank wash is still open. That's amazing.
Right. Whew. All right. I'm going to talk to you real soon.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Hope your night's good. Be careful.
It is.
Going out and about.
Oh, I am, always. I live in the safest places ever.
I'm talking about people the way they drive.
I also drive really safely. I've been doing that a lot lately. Like, taking time to leave on time, knowing how to get to where I'm going, learning, like, becoming better at acclimating myself to where I am in space as opposed to having to have GPS always going. So, anyway, it'll be good. You enjoy your evening, too, and I will talk to you soon and stuff.
All right.
All right. I love you.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye. Wow. That actually was a completely different than I expected it to be. And by completely different than I expected it to be, like, I didn't expect to be able to say as much. Because in the past, I haven't always been able to have those kinds of conversations with my dad. And so that was really nice. And now if you've actually listened this far, then you must really love me. And I know you actually do, because I know most people, everybody who knows me knows how much they love me. And sure, people can be frustrated with me for whatever reasons that they're dealing with their own things. But if you've made it this far, I thank you. And I hope that maybe you got out of that a little bit of the reality that even when you have someone in your life who it's hard to talk to, sometimes those people are the people that make it hardest to recreate yourself. So, being able to talk really makes a difference. Knowing how to talk makes a difference. Knowing that the things that you're going to say are not going to be hurtful to another person makes a difference. Coming to that place of knowing that I just love everybody, and yeah, it just, I'm back to that euphoric state, so I think I should go. But there you have it. I have absolutely no idea why I'm so goofy, except for just that part where I've got that energy. Anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna let you guys go. probably going to post this to face for sure. Going to post it to Facebook because that's what I want to do. But I'm going to put it on my Love Coat page because Love Coat, for anyone who doesn't actually know it, stands for Love Christina of all trades, and that really describes me as a person because I can do anything. I can find anything. Like, the number of tiny things that I have found that everyone else has said, oh, you'll never find it, is amazing. The number of things that I have fixed that people have said, oh, that's been broken for forever, you'll never fix it. I can fix anything. Like, that's the reason why I have the mentality that I do and I say the things that I say, because I have a really good track record within myself of being able to fix everything that I actually try to fix, being able to find everything that I actually try to find, being able to do whatever I put my mind to doing, that I don't also give myself an out for how I'm not going to do it. So, there you have it. I am leaving the RV here shortly. I'm going to get dressed on purpose and get ready for the day on purpose. And then I will get that process started. And I will update everybody the first time that I get income that is not from me going to my office and doing the work that everyone keeps telling me that I'm supposed to do. That's the problem. People need to, instead of telling people what to do, they just need to give options that say, hey, I think if you tried this, you could probably have a lot of success. I tried this and I got a lot of success. So that's where I'm going. We are meant to be millionaires. All of us. Every single person on this planet. We are meant to be millionaires. We are all capable. And so let's go love coat the world. And just, yeah, let's do it.